Carlos Pena did a really, really good breakdown of Matt Harvey and his use of fastballs against the Nationals the other night. Um, but before we get into that, I want to show you kind of what Major League Baseball is doing. Major League Baseball has gotten into the 13 and 21 theory, and that's basically that the best way to throw your fastball is to mix it to 13% up and in strikes and 21% down and away strikes. And why do I say that they've decided that? Because 16 out of the 30 clubs do exactly that breakdown. And all of the other clubs, within just a couple of percentage points, do exactly the same thing as well. One standout is that the Indians threw 16% up and in and 19 down and away. And the reason it stood out is because they led Major League Baseball in strikeouts in 2015. So that's one of those things that happens as a result. Now, Major League Baseball used a plus fastball 25% of the time. That's in the pressure zone, up above the zone, up and in, and middle in. All of those added together was 12%. That's how Major League Baseball decided to use that plus fastball. In Max Scherzer's 20 strikeout outing against righties, he went 44%. Normally, he goes 29% up there. But on this night, he went 44 with a pretty decent differential between the ones that were in the strike zone at 27% and the ones that were in the pressure zone at 17%. So he's basically protecting that area. Now, he still threw some outside fastball strikes. In fact, he was only outside the zone 6% in that down and away pressure area because it's not really pressure. It makes no sense to throw it down there. It makes ultimate sense to throw it in this plus area. In fact, last year, if you look at Kluber, he was well below his norm of the year before, but he was 21% fastball use on average in those two areas. That night of his 18 strikeout game, he went up. I'm sorry, it was 41% plus fastball use. 41% versus 21%. So nearly double the amount of fastball use in that area. So now let's look at what Harvey did against righties. 0% in these pressure areas. 7% strikes and 33% away. So he's away, throwing 96, which is really 90 to 93. That's really the speed range we're talking about. So it's not really Harvey that's fatigued, it's the use of his fastball that's fatigued, because instead of that 96 turning into 101, 102 in this up area, it's turning into 90 and 93, the much less aggressive version of his fastball. Against lefties, he was 23% up and in, but 20% was out of the strike zone. So what do hitters do? Cross it off. Sit on 90. Now when you throw that slider at 88, 89, 90, we're talking about 89, 90. 2-mile-an-hour differential, 3-mile-an-hour differential. He averaged 5-mile-an-hour differentials all night. And that doesn't fly. It just doesn't have any chance of working over the long haul. So make no mistake, Matt Harvey's woes have very little to do. I'm not saying he's not fatigued. Maybe that's one of the things. Maybe he's mentally off a little bit. But the bottom line is you'll see him make a severe snapback. This was one night's work. He went from 29 to 44 and went from averaging 10 or 12 strikeouts to 20. That's a crazy amount of difference. And that's what will happen to Harvey as soon as he learns this lesson. There's more to it than that, but that's the primary reason. Now, 13 and 21 makes zero sense. Sabermetric Worlds has fallen in love with the ground ball, and for that reason, they're going to live on the outside part of the plate because it produces more statistically. But there are 14 other reasons why throwing the ball down and away makes no sense. It's leading to hard hit balls, and especially in Harvey's case. You lose speed. So you go from 100 down to 92. That's one of the primary things. That does a lot of different things, but that's one reason all by itself. 2, you have no speed spreads between pitches. 92.88, 92.83, 92.88. Those speed differentials are not nearly enough. When you start going 100, 96 turns into 99 to 100, and now you've got your off-speed pitch at 88 and you make a slight mistake, you still got 10 or 12 miles an hour differential. That doesn't happen when you throw the ball in the outside part of the plate. 0 strikes that are off-speed can hide on a down and away fastball. So you throw down and away, and now you throw a slider, they're going to have a different look. They're not going to hide each other. No tunnels. So your deception rate goes way down. Hitters can ignore 1/2 of the zone when you live on the outside part of the plate. Swing and miss on fastballs goes down because the speed goes down. And all the accidental contact happens down here. Why? Because that's where the barrel is. Accidental contact does not happen at the top part of the strike zone unless it's off the fist. Yes, you get some fisted singles. Yes, you get some fisted doubles. But no, you don't get accidental contact. They have to hunt this. And when they hunt it, it opens up this entire differential between all of your off-speed pitches. And so swing and miss goes down when you live away. Swing and miss goes down on off-speed pitches because there's no tunnels. Chase rate is almost half. When you look at the chase rate down and away, it's in that 20, 22, 23 percentile. When you look at the chases up here, it's 45 to 50% depending on the day. But it averages somewhere in that 45 percentile range. So we're talking you're twice as likely to get guys to chase up than you are down. And then the batting average down there is almost double down and away than it is in that up and in pressure area. So let me get this straight. I missed down and away, and I'm going to get half as many chases, and they're going to have almost twice as many hits down there. The exit speed goes up, the accidental contact goes up. I'm going to give up some comfortable at-bats because that's what's happening when I throw the ball away, away, away. It makes everything comfortable. It's a stepping stone. When you throw 96 but you throw it away, the 96 is 93. Now when I try to throw inside and I get it to the middle in area and it's 99, that's right on the edge of that 6 mile an hour differential. That's a stepping stone. Whereas if I throw my slider at 87 and it becomes 85 out there, that's a huge differential. That is the difference. But it's only part of the difference. The speed's only part. There's also the tunnel that goes with it. When I throw fastball out there and fastball in there, I see them both. So I realize that they're both fastballs. That's one of the primary differentials. So it becomes a stepping stone when you live out there. EV speed that hitters are most tuned into is outside fastball speed because for 100 years you've been living out there. So it's the speed that they're most tuned into. Accidental contact happens at the bottom of the zone. Hard accidental contact. Accidental contact happens on the top part of the strike zone too, but it's not hard contact. That contact in that plus area is fisted typically. But when you live on the outside part of the plate in that minus area, you are much more likely to run into a bat. The highest exit speeds happen down at the bottom of the zone, not the top. I'm not saying guys can't hit it up there. They just don't because they have to give up too much to commit to that. They have to hunt this, and that's uncomfortable for most guys. So they hunt a slow speed, and when you throw it slower than that, they crush it. Notice all those exit speeds, the high ones, are all end up at 83, 80, 88 miles an hour. That's because they're living on this outside fastball speed, and they crush 83 to 88. If you're scared, get a dog. The outside part of the plate, that nibble, nibble, nibble concept makes no sense. It's the reason why guys like Barry Bonds, in his heyday, he hit 125 in this entire area on the inside part of the plate as a lefty. In 0-2, 1-2 counts. Now, the trick is nobody ever got him to 0-2, 1-2 counts because they were scared. Ball 1, fastball. Ball 2, fastball. Trying to nibble. And that nibble is going downhill. Now the slider pops up over that and he crushes it. Or they throw the fastball here. It's the third one he's seen, but now it's in an area where it's losing speed. So 91 back then was the average fastball or so. It's really 88. So Barry Bonds is forcing guys to throw 88. They were scared to throw inside. If you're scared, get a dog. Don't throw pitches on the outside part of the plate thinking that it's safe. It's not. It's really the cowardly way to attack hitters. You're not attacking hitters on the outside part of the plate. You attack hitters by throwing plus fastballs. And right now, that's not what's happening in Harvey's approach. You watch the very next outing. If he's paying attention at all to any of this, you will see a marked difference in him attacking that part of the strike zone. If he really is the Dark Knight, then he needs to step up and show that.